Hello, algebra students. First step here, as we often say, is breathe. It's not as bad as it looks. So let's give it a read here. A mattress manufacturer sells to hotels at the wholesale prices listed in the table. Okay, there's a bunch of wholesale prices. They offer 4 styles in each of the 4 sizes: twin, full, queen, or king. And then Wind Resort plans to furnish 100 suites with sleep right mattresses, either 1 king-sized or 2 queen-sized. Interesting. Don't panic until you see what you're told to do. They're unsure of how many of each size to purchase. Solve this ugly inequality, 499K plus 2 times 449 times the quantity of 100 minus K is less than or equal to 72,000. To determine the number of rooms they should furnish with king-size beds to stay within a budget of $72,000. Now, guys, honestly, as soon as I saw this language, I started breathing again. This word problem, this table are not so scary because they told me exactly what to do. They say solve this inequality in order to determine the number of rooms. Everything else here is kind of just a distraction, except this big, ugly inequality. So I learned my lesson last time. Tried to film this video once, did not have enough room to work. So let's blow this sucker up so we have lots of space. Give yourself a piece of scratch paper. And let's get started here. Give me a second, you guys, to get my life in order. Okay. Here we go. So we have this lovely inequality we'll start with. Okay, maybe it's not so lovely, but we've got this. 499 plus 2 times the quantity. And you heard me say this is the second time I'm filming this, and that's because I miscopied a number the first time. So watch yourself. When there's this much going on, it's really easy to lose numbers, miscopy numbers, yada, yada, yada. So there's that whole ugly thing. Now, obviously, this is the case of something that I would like to simplify if I can. And looking at this left-hand side of the inequality, I do see some work that I know how to do. Now, I'm simplifying right now, so it is time to follow the order of operations forwards. So in theory, I'd start with anything inside of a grouping. But if you take a look at that one grouping that I have, 100 minus K, I can't do that. Those terms are not like, they cannot... I can't do the subtraction. There's no exponents, so it's time to move on to multiplication division. And you can see I definitely have multiplication here. This 2 is shoved up against this 449, which is shoved up against this grouping, 100 minus K. So the 3 of those are multiplying. Be careful, though. A lot of you guys will make errors if you try to do 2 acts of multiplication at once. So I'm just going to do one at a time. I'll start with 2 times 449. 898 is that piece, and that's still going to be multiplying by 100 minus K. I still have the 400. Look, see, I already miscopied. I told you not to miscopy, and I miscopied. The first thing was not 499. It was 499K. Not a great start to the second take. Okay, and that's going to be less than or equal to 72,000. Wonderful. There's still more multiplication to do. That 898 shoved against the grouping I can still do. So 499K is a term. It's something adding or subtracting. It's not going to get affected, but I can pass this guy out. So 898 times 100 is going to be 898 with 2 zeros on its butt. And 898 times negative K is just going to be negative 898K. And that whole thing is going to be less than or equal to 72,000. Great. Finish my multiplication. But there is some addition I can do. I see some like terms. There's a K term and there's another K term. I can combine them. And because I'm on the same side of the inequality, don't use opposites. You obey the signs. So 499 minus 898 gives me negative 399K. I use that, but I haven't used this. 800. Watch me, guys, watch me. Don't let me miscopy. I don't want to do 3 takes on this one. Beautiful. Okay, all the simplifying I can do is done. It is time to start solving, working to get that k alone on its side of the equal sign. And now that I am moving across, oh, I said equal sign, I should have said inequality. But now that I am moving across the inequality symbol, I am going to work the order of operations backwards. So I'll take anything adding or subtracting first. So I'm going to take this 89,800 away. I'm doing what I want, disobeying the rules. Oh, look, I tried to miscopy again. Wowza! Somebody needs more coffee. So I am going to do it to both sides. Adding 89,800 and subtracting 89,800 are opposites. They cancel. I've got negative 399k left on the left-hand side. Careful, I subtracted. I didn't multiply or divide by a negative. And so my inequality symbol is not going to flip, at least not yet. And now on the right-hand side, 72,000. Oh, my land. 72,000 minus 89,800 equals negative 17,800. Lovely. Now, almost done, but k is still not alone. I've got this multiplier of negative 399 to get rid of. I'm going to divide by exactly what I want to get rid of. I can do whatever I want, as long as, in this case, as long as I do it to both sides and realize that I just made a change. I just divided both sides by a negative, what we called negating both sides of the equation. I basically changed the signs of both sides. And when you change the signs, you change the relationship. So yes, multiplying and dividing by negative 399 cancel, so k's alone. But I have changed the relationship between the left and the right-hand side. So instead of seeing less than or equal to, I am now going to see greater than or equal to. And I will take that negative 17,800 and divide it by negative 399. And I get this funky little number, 44.611, yada, yada, yada. Okay, now it'd be nice if my answers were just in numbers here so that I could go straight to it, but they're in words. So let's take a look here. Well, obviously my number is a whole lot closer to 45 than 54, so I will roll these two out here. But this language that they're using, instead of using the inequality symbols, they use at least 45 rooms or no more than 45 rooms. So let's make sure we can read our inequality here. So K, and we were talking about furnishing with king-size beds, so that's the number of king-size beds, has got to be greater than or equal to, and we said we would call that 45. Okay, so it has to be greater than or equal to. So obviously B is not correct. It's not going to be no more than 45. We need it greater or equal to 45. So at least 45 rooms. Think about what at least means. A lot of times people see the word less and think it means less than 45. No, at least means it's okay for the king size beds to be equal to 45, but that's the least it can be. So I would also appreciate it if it was more than that. So at least 45 rooms have to be furnished with a king size bed, but they could do more than that if they wanted to. A is the correct answer. Ooh. So challenging of an inequality to simplify and solve, obviously. And then we had to do that translation there. But I guess I can say at least the table and the word problem and all that was just a bunch of extra fluff. Once we sorted our way through that and got right to the point, this thing simplified itself out. All right, you guys, super proud of you for sticking with me through that awkward, bumbling video, and happy learning.